It's the wild, wild west of the wild, wild west, right? So that's like freaking wild, wild west, right?
I love that. I'm Olivia Higgins, and you're watching Playing with Fire, where we're covering what is hot right now in the investment world. Today we are with Desmond Leong. Thank you for joining us, Desmond. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
So today we're covering crypto, NFTs, and market crashes. Now, Desmond, maybe tell me more about yourself.
All right. So, Desmond, right? I run a investment research firm, right? So that's the traditional side of investment research. But on the other side, I also run a startup which is very heavily in the whole crypto NFT space, right? So it's a little bit of both, right? And seeing things from both sides. It's a fun space to be in, but yeah. So that's I guess in this video today we'll be exploring both sides. The traditional side and the wild wild west side. I guess. That's a short intro about myself. Yeah.
Okay. So on that topic, crypto.
Okay.
What got you into it?
What got me into it was more of the need that it brought me, because I was doing this work with this client in Russia, right? So they were like, all right, okay, we're gonna pay you. They gave me some money, and right, like, okay, just withdraw it to your bank account when you're done, right? And like, okay, I'll do that, right? I've tried, a bank account. I tried Nutella. I tried every single thing, right? And it all got rejected. I'm like, how am I gonna get this money out of here? So there are all these withdrawal options, and I was going down the entire list, right? And I was like, oh man, okay, I've exhausted almost all options, right? Then I see this, Bitcoin, right? I'm like, all right, I'll try Bitcoin, right? I mean, I need to get the money out somehow, right? So I tried Bitcoin. That's where it kind of got me digging a little bit into like different wallets around, right? Then I'm like, okay, so I know this is. You can use this wallet address and send it over, right? At that point in time, it was about like 7 weeks, trying to get money out, right? Because every time
7 weeks.
7 weeks of trying unsuccessfully to like withdraw the money.
Okay.
Right. So this thing, when I finally reached I finally tried that crypto space, like transferring money, right? Within like 7 hours, right? It was done. I was like, oh man, it's cheap, right? And it's fast. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's a lot more to this space than,
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, it helped me realize the utility there and then, right? In its very, very infancy kind of form, right? It's like, all right, it's pretty cool. Cool. Right?
Amazing. So, okay, as a new investor, for NFTs, like your startup and what it's doing, and crypto, what is your first advice to them?
First off, many advice. First off, a lot of advice. I feel like if you're talking about NFTs, in the NFT space, we gotta be very. I'm not sure if the word I want to use is pessimistic, but it gotta be a lot
Skeptical.
careful. Yeah, skeptical. Yeah, you gotta be skeptical with a lot of things that you're seeing now, right? I mean, if you look at the different NFT calendars out there, there's a new NFT being launched every day, and a lot of it, right? The keyword that you kind of want to look out for is this thing called utility, right? Which basically means usefulness. I feel that in the NFT space, having a healthy amount of skepticism, right, is important in filtering the many kind of different NFTs that are being launched out there, and try to see, right? Yeah, it's a lot of them. It's so many of them. Thousands launched every day.
I've lost track.
Yeah, me too. And I'm in a space. I'm just looking at it like, man, so many of it, right? And you just want to ask yourself, right? When you look at NFT, how useful is it? What kind of community are they building? Can you use this for something in the future, right? Don't just look at. I feel people are overvaluing the whole artwork now. It's not about creating a nice artwork. You can create something like like this pixelated, robot here, right? And
I love this shirt, by the way.
Yeah, it's the closest thing I have to
Did you wear it for the show?
Yes, I did. Right. Others are going super dry, right? But yeah, it's don't focus that much on the artwork, right? Try to see beyond the artwork, the fancy little GIFs, animations, and try to really look at how useful is this thing. This is NFT, right? So I guess the first, I mean, I can go on forever, but I guess the first advice I'm going to give is have a focus on the utility, the usefulness, of NFT. Yeah.
So what is that one definition of usefulness? Because that's quite a broad term.
All right, so I guess there are various degrees of usefulness, right? Okay, so I feel like that on some usefulness levels, some are really, really good. For example, okay, I started really bad, right? I started really bad.
Please do.
All right, it's easier to start bad because I feel like a lot of them might be bad. Right? I feel like I'm supposed to be a little bit more optimistic here, but what a very bad examples of usefulness is like a person comes up and says that buy my NFT because it's you make a really nice profile picture, right? It's the artwork is nice. Unless you're gonna be a next like Van Gogh or something, right? It should not.
I'll stick to 8-bit for
yeah,
now.
yeah, correct, precisely. And also, that's a bad example of utility. What is overused right now is people saying, join, buy my NFT, and you'll be part of a community.
I've seen that
right?
a couple of times.
It's the second most used probably. But as we move on a little bit further up the value chain, right? Up the value chain, so things which I feel are a little bit more useful. Right, I mean, there's the unofficial spokesperson of NFTs now, Gary V. Right, he's a little bit split. Sometimes he goes off a little bit crazy and stuff.
Yes.
But he's trying to add utility. So what he does is that he says that if you have one of his, I think it's V friends, you get to attend his V conference. And I think recently, right, in the Super Bowl, he was announcing that Snoop Dogg would be in his V conference. So it's trying to attach values that you as a holder of this gets to do that. That's a little bit more, but what I feel and this is a broad, bold statement I'm making, in the world of NFT, we're going to see a move towards SaaS, like software as a service, being used as NFT. Currently NFTs got varying degrees of rarity, right? Some of them have this, some of them have that, some of them got a little gold, gold.
Yes.
What is it? A gold chain, gold earring and stuff like that. You should attach utility to that. What do I mean by that, right? Is if your NFT, maybe this little bored ape bored ape that you have, if it has this ring, you get to use the gym, the pool, right? You get to use the pool for free, right?
Okay,
so these little things that the utility should be attached, whether it's a software as a service, whether it's a business. I foresee the NFT space. This NFT is not just going to be rarer because it happens to be a female. Female NFTs is just in thing now. That is the easy way out for a lot of these NFTs currently. I feel like over time, people are going to be more skeptical and they're going to demand more from the NFT space, right? Sure, it has this little pixelated necklace, but what does it mean for me? When you're buying a stock, right? You're buying a stock, you're on the moomoo platform, you're reading up on the financials, you look at the PE ratios, read up about the vision that they have, right? It draws the same parallels to the NFT space, except it's a lot more. It's the wild west of the wild west, right? So that's like freaking wild west, right?
I love that.
And going in there and instead of saying show me our company financials and stuff, you're like show me your roadmap, right? I ain't got a roadmap, right? My roadmap is this, right? Who are your founders, right? Oh, we don't have we have founders, but they are hidden behind masks, right? So that's a big thing about doxing now, which is basically revealing the true identity of people, right?
Yes.
Can you imagine, right? Like Elon Musk, like no one ever knowing his identity because he always walks around with a mask. Right?
Yes.
You get it? That's a pun there. I'm sorry. Right? Oh man, I'm so bad. Right?
That was actually pretty good.
Yeah. No, sorry, it just jumped on me. Right? But imagine that always hiding behind the mask, and no one will accept that in the world. If like he wants to get listed, right? And it's like, no, I'm not going to reveal my true identity.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, even Daft Punk couldn't get away.
Oh
with
yeah,
it
yeah. And that's the it draws the same parallels with investing. It's you want to see who's the founder and what's their vision, all of this, but people are doing it in the NFT space in a much more like say the cowboy kind of fashion. And there it's like whatever the person says on his roadmap, no one's going to hold him to it. Right? If he decides to do a rug pull and run away, it can do anything because it's a crypto space, right?
It's sort of like an evolution towards there's a lot of talk about that decentralized or distributed system.
Yes.
And I think they're always constantly trying to position themselves as this. But at the end of the day, the risk is still extremely high, would you say, at the moment? It
is high, and one of the reasons I feel is, I mean, besides it being decentralized, there's no really governing authority of NFT.
The
right?
regulation element.
Yes, correct. If something goes wrong, and there are a lot of cases of NFT launches like jobs being hacked, right? Discord servers
especially
being hacked.
with like games, for example. And like the gamification element of it.
Correct,
Sometimes it's hard to tell if this is a credible space. So what should someone look out for?
Doxing is important. Seeing the founders. So what doxing means is the founders actually reveal who they are, right? It's not hidden behind a mask. It's not hidden behind an emoji. A founder, especially in the NFT space and crypto space, will actually come out and say who they are, right? It holds them accountable to it. You might not know it. Might not be able to track them down when something goes wrong, but actually it shows a level of authenticity. People are going to search our names, you see, and then if you are a bad person, right? People can find it, and trust me, the crypto NFT space, people can dig and they can find it. So I feel like revealing identity does help. That's one of the things to look out for in a community, in an NFT kind of project. I feel that the other thing is, don't place such a huge emphasis on what I call vanity matrix. Right, so there's a lot.
Tell me more about that.
Vanity matrix, I feel, is being overused now, where it's a case where, how many members do you have on Discord, right? Do you have like 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, right? I feel like there's a lot of vanity. It looks good, but does not necessarily mean it is good, right? The whole concept of vanity there, right? It's much better to have like 100 whales in your Discord channel, right? Than to have like 100,000 people who are in there just for the freebie that you're dropping. This vanity matrix, it goes from number of Discord users, tweets that you have, right? You take a healthy amount of skepticism, look at it, right, and say, am I falling for this project because it looks good on paper, right? It is how many of this, even like when you are investing, traditionally investing in a firm, in a company, right? What do you want to do? You don't want to just say, imagine a company comes in, you're a venture capitalist, right? And they're like, okay, how many followers you have on Instagram, right? that is like a terrible way of like assessing the health of a company, right? If you think about it, right? But in the world of NFT, where you cannot grasp at financial ratios and this, your absence of a lot of that information, people start looking at social validation, which is the whole concept of social proof. How many members are there, right? And it can be manipulated
at the moment.
This
is what it's based on. So
Correct.
Going back to your utility point, it could be a variable, right? On how people assess whether or not to jump in.
It's something I feel like a community needs, right? But it should not be the main focus, right? When you're trying to assess whether you want to invest, imagine if like your uncle or your aunt comes up to you and says like, hey, want to invest in my business? You're not going to ask them how many Instagram followers you have, how many tweets you send out and stuff. You're going to ask you, so what's your business plan? How is it different from the rest, right? Why would people want to, use your product? If we take that same lens to look at NFT projects, I think it's useful, right? You kind of, you start to ask yourself the hard questions, right? This NFT community, can't I just get it for free, on YouTube, the kind of information that they're sharing, right? So, when you assess an NFT project that way, it kind of makes you look at the things that they're trying to maybe cover up a bit on. They're like, maybe the roadmap is just a little bit fluffy, but they can say, we have 100,000 Discord users. And
if it's too good to be true, it
probably
is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Does that apply for crypto as well? Because I do understand, even for myself, my own research, you've got the main names, but then the altcoins, they definitely function on different systems. You've got emergence, but you've got re-emergence.
The altcoins, you kind of need to see, of course, the blockchain, why they might be better, why they might not be better, right? So for example, you're looking at Stellar, Stellar Lumens, right? XLM, right? You kind of want to see, it's the same way as assessing, if you think about buying cryptocurrency, it's like buying currency, trading Forex, whether you want to buy USD, whether you want to buy the Australian dollar or euro, kind of want to see, its health, right? If you try to break it down fully into like whether you're investing in stocks, in a country, in a currency, or in cryptocurrency, you treat yourself as a doctor, come in there and then you kind of try to measure the health of this thing, right? Is it healthy? Is it not? You want to see the, why, like for example, how many transactions per second that you want to look at, why is it better? Yeah, exactly. Why is it better? Different kind of consensus models, right? And for different kind of cryptocurrencies, when you look at it and, you just assess it as it is, right? Like, okay, this makes sense. This is a lot more energy efficient.
Sustainable.
Right? Sustainable. You're correct. That's a word.
That's an argument as well.
Correct.
You look at all these Bitcoin mining
Exactly. Right,
fields. Like the amount of energy just for one particular transaction.
It's crazy.
Is immense.
It's immense, right? And that's why it's getting a bad rap in that sense. So even though a lot of cryptocurrencies are packed with the whole, are very correlated. Bitcoin goes up, it goes up, it goes down, it goes down. I'm starting to see a little bit of a divergence there, right? As each coin starts to stand for what it believes. They're all kind of like trying to one better themselves, which is great, right? It's great for the crypto space. It's addressing the problems that they have been facing, right? Securities, transaction per second, efficiency, sustainability. It's addressing a lot of that, which is good. You kind of want to see, what it stands for. You don't go and buy Squid Coin or Squid Game Coin or whatever it is, right? Just because Squid Game is so popular, right? You're just asking for it, right? When you jump into stuff like that, right? So, if you actually take a step back and you take that methodical approach of like, okay, Squid, what is this, right? Why is it even existing? Why is Baby Dogecoin even existing? Why is like...
why?
Yeah, why? What does it stand for beyond like it's cute, right? Baby Doge is cute, all dogs are cute, right? But yeah, you see it there and like, why does it even exist? When you ask, right? I mean, there's this whole Toyota way where you kind of ask why 5 times, right? And ask why, and then why, and why. It helps you lead to it leads you to the core.
Yeah.
Right, so you ask why 5 times, so any of these coins, if they cannot even get past the first why, right? That
it's out.
It's out, right?
So, what is the true purpose then of this sort of investing? What is it for you?
For me, investing is just a means to get to something, right? But you need to know your end goal is money. You don't just trade crypto. You don't just trade NFTs because it's fun.
Yes.
Right, so what the flip side is that trading crypto, trading NFTs is super fun, it's super exciting, but you're losing money, right? Do you want to, will you enjoy that? It's good to be anchored back to the point like, why am I doing this? To make money. If this is not helping me make money, I don't want to be doing it. Buy low, sell high, buy low, right? Finding something that's undervalued, flipping it for more money.
Okay, to this money point, this value or purpose of investing, right?
Okay, yeah.
I think what's interesting as well is we're seeing a generational shift and also perhaps even arguably a cultural shift in the way we approach things. And so you've got the Great Resignation, for example, right? Yeah. How people view money is very different. How does that make it easy for this new world of investing to come in and sort of take over? Or will it take over?